Tando, councillors present here from all political parties, and chief whips, mayors, speakers again, besides the speaker of the council that I've indicated, our chief whip from the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, with your councillors, MPs that are present here, one of our own Deputy Minister was a DTA, Otanda West Rand, and other municipalities. Members of the PEC of the African National Congress, especially those that are deployed in West Rand, the convener yakhona, Comrade Umapit, and this is Bizangela Gama, Yanyamalala Ndolian. I knew it claustrophobic. Leaders of other political parties, members and leadership of the leagues, Mbonilu Chairperson Wetu, Chairperson We Youth League, Deputy Chair, Unyene Executive Yenu Nonke from the province, region, fellow mourners and ladies and gentlemen, how can I forget the religious leaders that I'm leading in the province, sending Mamfundis of late. The FPO Yonke and Yabulisa, I'm deployed by the Premier to lead the religious sector. And I think, let me acknowledge, Ubaba was a Swaziland, Oze Apa, Wasuga Good, also Bakinyanati, Mayor Wakona, because Ngotando Lwake, a Tandi family, Lipudi, in leadership, Ekoya Apa, the Comrade Uhuru, and other senior leaders and activists of the ANC. And we hope Ugwamba Patrick kuzakwenza ukuba ningayityesheli ANC nonke ezi leaders, especially from where Comrade Patrick comes from. Ngoba akufuneka kufundwe kuni. Good afternoon, it was morning earlier when we were preparing this. As it was, a Sunday it was, which changed and shook up foundation of our soul, caught everyone by surprise. We can hardly come to terms and believe that indeed one of our own is no more. Comrade Lipudi is no more, comrade. And as we gather here this afternoon to mourn him, we are also devastated that the best and the most advanced cadre of the African National Congress has departed. I first met Lipudi years ago in the structures of the movement. Ute ubulebe abawada ayazi affection. Sasaikala ngelakisa Comrade nabo Stelo kunye nabo Mondli, you remember? Nani nikhona nabo Steve, because that follow no category lay. Nihlezi phakwam eUven uqala lo mntini. So bekazi kuzo, but he never attended the Esfananezi. It was the ones that were more of building then. And sasingena mali angithi makabani. That's another thing, that it was more solid, that one year. He would mingle and speak softly in his interaction with comrades, a typical introvert with amazing and rare qualities of an extrovert. Comrade Naka was shy but able to engage. He was a person that has his presence and aura wherever he is. He had this quality even remembering other people's names and other comrades. He recalled even smallest and insignificant details about each one of us, which made him to be liked and attracted everyone closer to him. You could not miss him if someone was to ask you about him after an event or a meeting or an occasion, because he had a warm personality and a warm, welcoming smile. I have had an honor and a privilege to serve with him in the PEC of the African National Congress, as both at the regional level when he was the regional secretary, and of the ANC he was the regional secretary of the ANC in the West End, and as directed elected member of the African National Congress Provincial Executive Committee. He will quietly sit in meetings and allow flow of discussions. I remember the corner that he used to sit at the legislature speaker and chief whip of the legislature. He had his own corner where you will sit, and you must know, with his own laptop, by the way, because he always had his laptop wherever he goes. You would really find, you will find a speaker on the same point that you would have spoken about. He was an astute and coherent debater. He was a clear speaker and a persuasive negotiator with amazing patience. He was a man of peace who never loses cool and calmness, even under very provocative circumstances. He was not the one to panic, even when facts are not clear or in any given matter. For he was very organized in thought, course of action and unassuming. As the ANC and the Alliance broadly, we have truly lost one of the most eloquent, dedicated, committed and selfless cadre of our movement. He had his heart at his right place to love his family dearly and dedicated his life to serving not only the people of Mogale City or Gauteng or South Africa, but was able to serve with humility. His service to the people of Mogale City, both in his capacity as a speaker and as an executive mayor, it was his lifelong mission to restore dignity of the poorest and the most vulnerable people of West Rand. Lipudi had one word he used to frequently and very often speak about it. It was dignity. It is not surprisingly why he conducted himself in such a dignified manner. And I want to appeal to ourselves, comrades. No matter what, we can be angry amongst each other, but let's maintain dignity. Because the day that we start doing things, throwing stones to each other, we must know that he's still there, he's still amongst us. In our interaction, you would not conclude our conversation without saying, I'll open quote, Comrade Nomantu, majority of our people don't want or demand glitz and glamour from our movement and its leadership, including its leadership, but demand us to respect them, demand us to treat them with dignity and never ask of them what ourselves are not prepared to do or accept, close quote. On the occasion when he mentioned this to me, he sent my head into a tailspin because I knew he was very deep. On my way home, I was in deep thought about what he has said, with mixed emotion about what Comrade Pat said, and the next time we met months later, I went back to him to the subject to try and have a detailed discussion about what he was saying. Time could not allow it, nevertheless. We promised each other again that we must sit down and have a discussion on this issue that I felt that I couldn't understand him. Unfortunately, it never happened, and when I received news of his passing, my mind remained about my many engagements with him. The last engagement that we were supposed to have with him, it was the third week of December, when I was supposed to have a meeting with him to discuss the issues of Mogale City and the issues of West Rand. Because uchairperson lo namhlanje ongu-program director, ube busy funa mbhadala imali yakhe naye sithi lo mfo lo mane siza uyangikoloda naye imali yami. So we wanted to discuss that, but the last thing that he said to me, because he couldn't make it in the meeting, he said, I am not well, my leader, hence I'm unable to come and attend your meetings. When we come back in January, we'll definitely meet so that we can iron out other problems, including the ones that are related to Mogale City. Comrade Naha, today I'm giving you my feedback on what you said about what our people demand on us. I do so not out of cleansing my conscience that we did not conclude this point or in a mere logical conclusion that binds you a farewell. But I give you this feedback as a point of learning for all of us, comrades. The point and message about treating our people with respect, you were merely saying it. What we put in our manifesto, in our IDPs, and in our five-year government program, which is our MTES framework, and the undertakings that we always make in our interaction with our people, that are binding social contract, the commitment to which we must respect and be guided by in daily execution of our public policy, as well as governance mandate. You wanted us as political representatives across parties to accept and understand that we are bigger and better standing together and enjoyed by common as well as unified vision about improving the conditions of our people in order for this freedom to have a meaning for all of us. If we are truly honored to historic giants, the community of Mogale, the business stakeholders, union service providers and other stakeholders, as well as all political parties, must desist from the temptation of narrow party political and cheap point scoring, but work together to serve and service our electorate. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of different constituencies in this council, as well as other spheres of government, our people deserve better. Let us honor and follow this conjunction of the late Comrade Lipudi. The dignity with which he said we must treat our people with. I guess he meant that we must work as a collective in government and the community so that we are able to deliver to the community. The community needs water. Community needs roads. They need houses, pick up waste. They need us to maintain clean environment. They want us to build schools and clinics. They want us to provide a reliable electricity supply, and we must pay for them to be continued so that they are able to be supplied uninterruptedly. And we must pay for it. As I said earlier on, that Comrade Nafa was a very neat and clean gentleman. So he wanted to build and integrate his own personality in the service delivery mandate. As it is said, water is life, sanitation is dignity. If we are living in a clean environment where littering and illegal dumping is shunned, we shall become closer to God for cleanliness, and they say it is next to godliness. There are Comrade Naka's personified qualities for which in a minimum reward and honor we can bestow on him. Comrade Naka went on to charge us not to ask others what ourselves cannot do. If we cannot tolerate the roads that are not maintained, if we cannot stand along load shedding, if we cannot stomach sewer running down the streets for delays and months without being attended to. He says if we cannot abide by insensitive distances of pregnant women, grannies that are sick to travel in order to get medical attention, then national health insurance must be speeded up to help them.